Yes, it's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Nation newspaper. Major headline here says, Presidency, why Tinubu is best for the job, by Almakura. Ex-governor says, Atiku, Obi, Kwankwaso, no match for APC candidates' competence. You find the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And we move now to the front page of the Punch. PDP crisis, BOT, that's the Board of Trustees, convenes emergency meeting to rescue Atiku's campaign. Party board meets this week as pressure mounts on PDP chairman to throw in the towel. We can't go into polls divided. We'll make needed sacrifices to move forward. BOT member Wagwara-led reconciliation panel meets Atiku ahead of Tuesday Port Harcourt meeting with Wike. All of the details on the front page of the Punch newspaper. We move to the First News newspaper now. Last-minute deal. PDP Atiku placates Southwest, Southeast ahead 2023. See Senate presidency shift to SGF to both regions respectively. You find the details on the front page of the First News newspaper and to the front page of the Leadership newspaper now. 2023, 7 ex-governor scheme for 10th Senate presidency. PDP's Tambuwal, APC's Umahi, Kalu in race, intensify consultations. 25 others jostle for turning Red Chamber into a retirement home, CSOs. And nobody can stop them, says IPAC. Mike.
All right, I have Daily Trust in here. That's where we're starting from on this side. And it's focusing on governorship polls. It says litigations dot primaries as INEC releases final list today. That's what Daily Trust has. And it says a fallout from there says APC battles lawsuits in Abia, Adamawa, Kaduna, Plateau, and others. PDP faces suits in Abia, Delta, Ogun, Kano, Niger, and others. Nigeria's democracy is court-dependent, Dr. Kari is quoted as saying that these are all stories on the front page of the Daily Trust. Now let's go to this Nigeria. This Nigeria says crackdown on drug barons, 8.9 billion naira tramadol pills, or billion naira tramadol pills uncovered in Lagos mansion. NDLEA arrests 121 suspects, seals 13 properties in Kaduna. All right, all that on the front page of this day. Let's move now to Nigerian News Direct. NDLEA arrests another billionaire drug baron in Lagos, recovers 8.8 billion naira worth of tramadol from mansion in residential estate. That's what Nigeria's News Direct has. And then from there, let's go to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint newspaper says Beningwari community, those lynched are terrorists from Sudan, not herders. That's what the report's saying here. Lord's security agencies condemns mob action, frowns at hasty conclusion on incident. That's what the Blueprint newspaper has. Now, Business Day is next, and it says Nigeria's 2023 borrowing plans at risk as creditors dry up. Eurobond route resumes, and rising interest rates to push up domestic borrowing costs. Okay, all that on the front page of the Business Day. The last one I'm looking at right now is the Daily Times. Daily Times says Nigeria-Korea Business Forum kicks off tomorrow. Ambassador Ali Magashi hosts the world in Seoul. That's what the Daily Times has there. Very
right.
good.
Gentlemen, let's quickly look at the war against drug abuse being led by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and which is chaired by Brigadier General Buba Mawa. In recent times, we have seen some recoveries being made with regards to, or discoveries being made with regards to drugs. Just some weeks ago, we had the Ikorodu situation where we saw about $278 million worth drugs were discovered in a building in Ikorodu, and now just in VGC, about 8.8 billion naira's worth of tramadol was found in a mansion in VGC. And it's quite alarming to know that we have this kind of thing in the country.
It's puzzling. How do they get these things into this country? Yesterday, there was a report of drug busts at the airports. And it still baffles me how they get these things into this country. It's not enough that we should catch these people. This amount of drugs don't move around without a coordination, without people from different parts of the country, especially in official circles, the airport, immigrations, customs, being part of this thing. And so that is one of the most fundamental things that we have to really address. This person who was arrested is just one part of the puzzle. Yeah. We need to get the full sense of how these things come into this country, how they are coordinated. We need a full story about how it happens. But we need to give great commendation to Buba and Marwa, because this is the first time in the country's history that we have seen a concerted effort to do this, to work like this in a government agency of this type. The other agency that did something like this was under Dora Akunyili. Yes. When she went NAFDAC, when she came down on drugs and even the quality of production of products in Nigeria, including the soft drinks, the overpopulated soft drinks with sugar. They made it sweeter to taste, but bitter in your health. That's what they did. And I had a discussion with Dora Akunyili of blessed memory before she died. And she talked about how she fought the corporations about sugar in this country. He said, brother, if you see what they took me through, I'm quoting her, quote and unquote, and she had a big battle with them. But immediately she left, go and look at your soft drinks. I don't want to mention their names. They are death traps. They just fill them with sugar. They're not only soft drinks, there are all kinds of drinks. There are many of things we take for cereals, for breakfast, and so on. So we need institutional control. Institutional control means that we have to monitor every bit and every chain of this drug command that we have in this country. Unless we do that, we're not doing anything. And we have to encourage Buba and Marwa to go straight into these issues and concentrate it. We have not actually analyzed or even addressed the chain as it happens. Yeah. We still know that somebody is caught, and before you catch him, you must know that he's going through a certain process. So we want to know, what road did they pass? What is the jigabele of this matter?
Indeed, we need to know the jigabele of this matter.
I didn't see that coming at all. No, I think well, seriously, we must give commendation to NDLEA under Buba Marwa. He has always shown exception for any national assignment he has been. Recall when he was military administrator in Lagos State, yes. He started Operation Sweep, where all other states started as a bandwagon. It became a bandwagon effect where states started having operation, whatever they had at that time. This is a wake-up call. If you see, there are times from all of the agencies that Sam has mentioned, from the days of Akunyili and NAFDAC to even the days of EFCC under Nuhu Ribadu, yes. And now NDLEA, even under customs, we see Ahmadu Ali's, difference in the way that he manages so it tells you that there are Nigerians who, when they man this system, remember the days of MAMSA under Professor Jerry Garner? So there are government agencies that can still function and still deliver on their work. But it tells you that for them to even gather that amount of the number of that kind of drugs in a warehouse, they must have passed through somewhere.
Of course. And
of course, you know that we don't manufacture, we may not be manufacturing tramadol in the country. So they came in through a port. You know, how did they pass the customs or beat customs? If they were smuggled through the illegal routes, as the case may be, how did the security intelligence, how did they beat security intelligence until they gathered?
Agency collaboration comes.
Exactly. The point there is that the DSS is a multi kind of, it's not for information and arrests only. There are in fact, in developed countries, the police will come to visit your house. If they don't see some persons in a certain routine on a daily basis, they come to just check on you. It's not to only come to arrest.
Yes.
So at times like this, they use intelligence to also monitor the area. What's going on? Who is here? Is this person here? Is he alive? Is this person traveled? Is there a new person in this environment? You know, and things like that. So those kind of information are really, really needed, you know, to be able to know that a mansion like that, you know, who lives inside there and how did they gather all of these things and warehouse them in that place. So these are all the information we need.
You know, this one is tramadol. I know tramadol is one of the scourges of Nigerian youth.
Yes.
The destruction is doing to the body and to the psyche. And you discover too that some of the acts of brigandage we have had in this country, whether it's the bandits working, the kidnappers and all of them, they stuff themselves with these poisons and then give them what they call the Dutchman courage, or the adventurer's easy morality, as Conrad would put it, or the bravado of guilt, you know, with which to go about from place to place and hold innocent people, kill people without any sense of compunction. These are the people who are engineering it. Boko Haram, many of them have been known to be stuffed in drugs. When Absolutely. They do that, they go and then it is not they that are doing it, exactly. It is the spirit. Yeah. The spirit, the spirit of the drugs are working in them. It's not there again. So it's not there. You know, that kind of thing. It's just like the scene in Shakespeare's The Tempest, when somebody is drunk. This person has not seen a drunk person before, and when he saw a drunk person, he said, oh, the gods must be working on this person. The spirit is working on it. You know, that's the kind of, so these drugs make them another man.
Yeah.
You know, it's different from what the Bible says, saying like the Spirit of God comes to you, you become another man. This is another spirit, so they become another man.
The negative one. And you know, elections are coming.
Elections are coming.
Yeah, so.
We've seen videos where we've had, you know, young people manifesting in different ways because they abuse drugs. We've had times where they took Mpuru Miri in the East.
Yeah, we saw that recently.
Yes, in recent times. So all of this, to addressing this, we can only hope we stem the tide of abuse of drugs in the country. And perhaps states need to collaborate with the agency as well to also allow inroads to check, you know, where we are having warehouses and houses, you know, being stuffed with drugs like this.
There's a lot of distress. You know, there's a place in the Bible that talks about the distress of nations and perplexity. That is, this is the kind of thing. It creates a lot of problems. It's not only here. In the U.S., it's a big issue among white America, especially those who are living in the poor areas. And then the rich ones are not being affected. I remember I saw an advert when I was in the U.S. talking about drugs. They discovered that you people are picking only the black people, but most of the drugs is consumed by the white and the rich in the suburbs.
Right.
You know, and nobody goes there to arrest anybody because everybody is rich, everybody is white, everybody is civilized.
Seem to be.
No, they're civilized. Except when they are taking the thing. You know that. So that is a terrible thing.
Really terrible.